right, guys, welcome to Mudrogue Sunday edition. Yeah, you can tell I'm all comfortable because I just took the dogs out for a walk. We're going to start with the Chinese balloon. Now, if you're new to the channel, you're going to notice I say alleged a lot. That pretty much is to protect the channel. In my opinion, YouTube has been very, very petty in what they go after me. They're truly trying to take me down. So forgive me that I say that word a lot. Now, this is the Chinese balloon that was reported by the mainstream media, and you're going to see it shot down by the United States Air Force. Boom! I should have go kaboom. So I'm gonna approach the Chinese balloon story in a couple of angles. There's something deeper, more insidious going on here. What is basically Americans in particular are being brainwashed. You think buy a balloon? Yes, yes, buy a balloon. Remember how we were last week and we are this week? We have ratcheted up anti-Chinese sentiment in America more than a couple of clicks. Let's read what Brian here of the New Atlas has to say. Balloongate is to China what Russiagate was to Russia. This hysteria over an observation balloon is deliberately manipulated to maximize fear, hysteria, anger, and hatred towards China ahead of Washington's plans to wage war on China. As I've told you before, I believe it was one of the other videos, and let me get that clip up. And now this is from NBC News. Air Force General predicts war with China in 2025. Daily Mail, China's President Xi has ordered his military to be ready to invade Taiwan by 2027, warned CIA Director Williams Byrne. I don't know if this has gone by you, but little by little, the United States has been edging towards China, the same way the United States did to Russia. Now, what I'm hearing from the different analyzers, Brian from the New Atlas, Gonzalo Lira, for example, the Duran, is that China was really the big boy, the big baby. not that they're a baby, but the big wet dream of the West to take down China. Russia was important. China is more important. Russia has taught the United States lessons, and they're going to on how to take down a big empire like China. They failed in Russia. The Washington Post, U.S. down Chinese balloon, drawing a threat from China. I don't know if that's just a title, because I don't think that shooting down the balloon drew a threat from China. I don't think that's what happened. That's what this is saying, and I don't have access to the whole article, so I can't tell you what allegedly the threat was that we drew from China by shooting down the balloon. I personally tend to think, since most people only read the title and don't get into the specifics of a story, that the headline itself is the provocation. It's supposed to be provocative. It's supposed to begin to build within the minds of the American people that China is threatening the U.S., that China is evil. This is a manufactured consent. The United States, we're really good at this. It's really tough to get America itself to go into a war, let alone finance a war like we are in Ukraine, unless you can get the population hating or being against Russia or being against China. So what Gonzalo Lira and Brian Baselak of the New Atlas were both saying basically is that what we're seeing now in regard to the Chinese balloon, something that it was just an observation balloon. It highly most likely was not a spy balloon, since China has satellites that can easily do better than any balloon spying on the U.S. territory. But this is a perfect opportunity to begin to stir the pot against China. Like for years, the United States has been stirring the pot against Russia. Russia collusion, Russia interfered in elections, Russia this. Everything is Putin's fault. Gas prices go up, it's Putin. Putin did this, Putin did that. Now we're going to start doing it with China. Why? Like the one general states, he believes that we are going to be at war with China. The Chinese are getting ready, according to the Daily Mail, the UK Daily Mail, to invade Taiwan by 2027. Whether any of that is true, I don't know. But I tend to agree with commentators out there that are saying this is just basically manufactured consent. The Western nations are beginning to manufacture consent, getting the people of America, when the day finally comes, to go, yeah, we're going to take them down. There are some of the commentators that I'm listening to. I'm saying that we are entering an era which is the end of the American Empire. And when an empire comes to an end, it has death throes. It kicks and thrashes everywhere. But the internals of the empire, and the American Empire is not just the United States, it is NATO. Look at this. The British Army would last an afternoon against Russia because of lack of ammunition. The West right now cannot, and it's not just the British Army. I've read the same thing about the French and the Germans. It seems like the most prepared are actually the Polish. And the Polish seem to be eager to go to war. And I don't think they can handle the Russians alone. Let me show you some other numbers. Now this publication, I believe it is a Turkish publication, but I am not sure. The Rudesa Haber. And they're claiming or alleged that Ukrainian and Russian casualties, according to the Mossad, it's here. I think you guys can see the URL there. But let's get down here. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. They're claiming Russian losses in the field with 418,000 soldiers plus 3.5 million reservists. 3.5 million reservists are back in Russia, and a growing number of Wagner mercenaries. This is to date. They claim Russia has only lost 18,000. They claim the Mossad in their records are noting 18,480 dead. If you do, there you are. You get the actual numbers, less than 60,000 dead, injured, and captured. Ukrainian casualties, 157. I mentioned the other day 150. 157 dead, alleged, of course. All these numbers, you can see them right there, add up to about 310 or more. That's not including dead, according to this, and I've suggested this, but I don't have the proof, and neither do they. This is I believe, a Turkish article with insight. Maybe they got a leak from someone they know in the Mossad, that NATO military trainers, 234. But what is interesting, dead NATO soldiers. So this is suggesting that in Ukraine there are actually NATO military soldiers. All they did was just take the patch off and put another one. But there are approximately almost 2,500 actual NATO troops fighting Russians in Ukraine, alleged. These numbers make sense. These numbers make sense in regard to Russia's kaboom capacity and Ukraine's kaboom capacity. So what I'm trying to get to with the balloon story and the thing about Ukraine is, I do think, like the leading commentators are saying, that the U.S. really wants to go to war with China. I also think that the war in Ukraine is not going well for Ukraine, and that the West realizes it, and that Ukraine has drained the West of its resources. Right now, the Western nations, us, the United States, Britain, the leading NATO countries, we have exhausted our resources. I'm going to bring up one of the commentators left a good quote. It is us, it is we that have been, in the West, that have been bled dry of military capacity. And we want to fight China. So I think that more and more, the West is realizing that this Russia endeavor, it was a failure. And they are going to try to back away from it. Now, I'm going to do a little reply to commenter. I'll try not to do too many of these, although I know some of you enjoy them and some of you are like, no. But I'm gonna try to, and I did reply to C. Young in the comment section, and I'm not gonna read all this. It's a lot, but I'm gonna paraphrase most of it. He's saying that it's an enigma what Zelensky's doing. Basically, Zelensky is pouring all his resources into, or not all, but he's pouring in huge amount of resources, military personnel and equipment, into Bakhmut and trying to hold it back. But that makes no logical sense. He is saying that what does make sense is that and actually I hadn't even thought of this. I was thinking they should fall back within the Donbass to the next line. But he makes a good point here, that the Ukrainian tactics don't make any sense, that Ukraine should fall back to the west side of the Dnieper River, like Russia did in Kherson. They fell back to the east side of the Dnieper River, good position, and from there they've been laying the kaboom on the Ukrainians on the other side of the river. Everything east of the Dnieper River. Come on, you're not going to take it. You're sacrificing so many of your men and personnel. It's stupid. So C. Young here is correct. If Ukraine was smart, what they're doing is they're putting all their resources, which seems like it, or a lot of their resources, into Bakhmut. You're doing Russia's job for them. They're like, fine. They're like, right, we'll beat you right here. You keep dumping resources into Bakhmut, you're going to exhaust all your resources. The war's going to end right there. Seriously. If Zelensky doesn't get his head out of his behind, the war's going to end in Bakhmut. The Russians are going to sit there and just eat it all up, and that's it. So you're right. Ukraine needs to just roll back everything, Kharkiv, everything back across the Dnieper River. Big ass river. Set up your defenses there. Fight from there. Make the Russians cross the river there. But you're thinking, then they're giving up all of eastern Ukraine. You're going to lose it all. You're going to lose it anyways. And if you're not careful, you're going to lose all of Ukraine. All of it. You can't defeat Russia. You don't have the resources. The West doesn't have the ability to continue to fund you, either with equipment and money. And watch what he wrote here. Watch, one brigade after another fall during the next month. Yet I doubt that the withdrawal or retreat order will be given to any of the poor smucks that find themselves in the Russian meat grinder, which looks, this is well written, bro. There's a bunch of there. You guys got to go read it. By the way, I learned a lot from you guys. I'm just this average guy, just a bit of a nerd. I like to read and share information, and I just like to talk a lot. But I learned a lot from you guys, and this is well written, very informative. The comment and the questions within it itself, they help. Go read it, you guys, because it helps your own mind start going into gear and thinking about stuff. My reply with him is, why is Zelensky doing this? Zelensky has that bunker, that Adolf H. in the bunker mentality at the end of World War II. It is said that come the end of World War II, Adolf H. had lost his mind, and he was hyped up on drugs. You know, I think the same thing's going on with Zelensky. I think Zelensky, he ain't all there. First, the top world leaders of the world have kissed his behind, and he really thinks he's all that. I think, in my opinion, that he's hitting the dope. I think he's full of ego, full of dope, and illusions, just like Adolf H. That some miracle weapon, in his case, from the West is going to come and save the day. I think as it all falls apart, he knows the reality, but he's fighting it. The leader of a defeated nation, the weight of all the people, because there has to be some humanity left in him, the weight of all the people that died because of him and his corruption, in my opinion. I think the reason Zelensky continues to drain his resources in Bakhmut is that even though he has eliminated, purged a lot of the people who could have stood against him, I think that if he loses Bakhmut, he may lose his control on Ukraine itself, and he doesn't want to do that. And Ukraine has become part of who his identity, his self-identity. Remember, the world leaders around the world all held him high on a pedestal and kissed his backside. He's full of himself. And all that is being stripped away. If he loses Bakhmut, he could lose the leadership in Ukraine. And then all that accolades that he gets from the West will be gone. All that money that he allegedly stole, that could be gone. And his demise ultimately could end up just like Adolf H., where he went from where he was on top of the world, feared, to being alone in that bunker. And I think that's part. All of that has part to do with what's happening in Bakhmut and what is going through Ukraine's mind, other than maybe someday, hopefully not, because I'm not that kind of person, is a very solid projectile. Now you know who you are. Someone sent me they either sent me a clip or they sent me a link. I later found the same clip over on Telegram, and I'm going to play that for you. This is, I believe, a Russian soldier. He went to his school to go, I guess, see his daughter at school in the classroom. So let's look at it.
Здравствуйте. Тихо, тихо, моя хорошая, тихо.
That's touching.
Мы извиняемся, Ольга Васильевна. Можно мы ее заберем?
Oh, come on, guys! If that doesn't make you a little teary, I don't know what does. That is just awesome. It's just awesome. Let's finish seeing that.
Здравствуйте, да ничего.
That's All right, guys. I'm gonna finish with this. This is completely different. It has nothing to do with war or news or whatnot. I found this over here, and I wanted to share it with you because it's going to be a good closing to my video.
Viewership is a identifier, but it's not the end all. And you have to be able to understand that, right? Cut through the noise. Most of it is noise. Most of it's fluff. And just in how you are producing your products, don't rely so heavily on trying to get the most people to rock with it. If you can get, you will be probably better off than a lot of these comic pros if you just have a handful of people, right? In a small pond, instead of trying to get the big viewership, small pond of people that are genuinely interested in your project and what it is that you are accomplishing, and you can eat off of that. You can eat.
So I'll leave it at that. I like this for me, for what I do. I would love to be a huge, big channel, but I have to remember, be who I am, be myself, do my product as I am. I'm gonna get haters. I'm gonna get people that don't like it. That's gonna happen. But I need to try not to do something to make this person happy or those people happy. If I just do what I'm doing the best I can, there are people like you who say, hey, you're giving us what we want. There are people who are more informative out there. I know that. There are people who are just more entertaining. Everyone has their own style and way of doing it. I put forward, I think, everyday man's opinion and viewpoint. I don't know it all, and that's why I love your comments and I learn from you all the time. And I'm not so proud as to think that I can't learn, I can't be taught something new. And so I like what Eric D. July here is saying is, you know what, this is my pond. And I need to concentrate on that, which means I have to concentrate on you who have been loyal to what I do. And I need to learn that also. I need to not try to change the content into something that just isn't me, because ultimately it wouldn't work. Thank you for watching the show today. I do have a locals page that is mainly a contribution page. I do put some videos there. And for those of you that can, if you can, and you want to contribute to the work I do here, head on over to the locals page. If you're on your cell phone, there's a availability to give a tip to the creator, which would be me. And I think if you're on computer, there's a portal for other donations. And you can tell I'm feeling uncomfortable doing this, but it's something I need to start doing because I would love to continue to grow the channel, and I need to and to give you more of the product the way I interpret it, for that I need more time. But as it is, I do enjoy doing it. So I have so much in my files. I'll try to get something else up for you guys for this, maybe even today, this weekend, or by tomorrow. So y'all have a good day. Thank you.